everybody. It's Mike Gable, just coming back to you again for the second time. It's about 4 or 5 days later. A little bit longer than we thought it was going to be to get this thing prepped out and sanded down to 80 grit. What we did was, if you notice in the previous video, or this continuing video, whatever happens, we took the bottom that we had, which was faired out with 40 grit and board files. And then what we did was we addressed all the chine areas and then an 80 grit over the entire hull. So right now it's been DA'd with a 6-inch sticky back sandpaper on both sides of the hull, and then we've come in and hand sanded all the strakes. Okay, there's a total of 3, and then the corner at the waterline, the chine area, we've sanded that all the way up forward. So on the center line also is about a 2-inch wide strake that goes down a rounded area there, and that starts in about a little bit forward of midway of the boat, and just forward of this stand here, if you can see it. And so now what we've done is we've washed that all down yesterday with a freshwater rinse. What we're checking for when we freshwater rinse everything down is we want to see if there's any beading going on, any type of a waxy substrate on the bottom, oily. Sometimes soda will cause a very bad adhesion because of the sugar or corn syrup in the soda. So we go ahead and do the freshwater bath down to check everything to make sure we have good adhesion. This checked out well, and then we came in and did a wipe down to prep us out for the 2-part epoxy barrier coat. And that's what you see here. This is the first coat to the barrier coat of the spots where we sanded through to the gel coat. And now what we're going to do is we're going to progress with the second one in about 2 to 3 hours, and then tomorrow morning we'll progress with a third one. That should give us about 6 mils wet, about 6 mils dry, and about 9 mils wet with 3 layers. So we're going to go with that. It's a little bit against what we really normally want to do, but we want to get a coat on this thing, the first coat of Bottompaint, somewhere at or around 2 o'clock tomorrow. We had a cold front come through. It's going to cool off a little bit more tomorrow. We'll probably be down about 65 around 2 o'clock, hopefully 68, and we'll get this thing sprayed up. So tomorrow will be the first coat of the Black Widow Bottompaint, as we discussed, and we'll go and address it from there. So hopefully next time you see this video, we'll have 3 coats, epoxy barrier coat, and we'll be ready for the Black Widow Bottompaint. That's it. I don't think there's anything else in this that we need to tell you about. Not anything that I can see. Nothing special. You can see on this Blackfin 29 what we did was on the end of the strakes, they used to be squared off. We went ahead and faired those in, and so that they're teardrop shape on the end, and that the water will flow off them a little bit better in theory. Okay. We've rounded the center strake to decrease the wetted surface on it, so that there's not as much water touching fiberglass, and hopefully it'll give us a little bit less wetted surface overall, and give us a little more speed through the water. So that's what we're trying to get some more speed out of this thing. Trying to think what else we may have for you. That's about it. We're going to hopefully also remove some of the stands tomorrow. It's blowing probably about 20-25 knots right now, and occasionally this tarp will try and blow off. And tomorrow, you know, we have actually 5 stands on one side, we have 4 on the other, and we have 4 center line supports. We're going to try and decrease that a little bit so that when we spray the Bottompaint, we don't have so many stands to go around that we have to come in and move stands and then respray those 5 coats. Because after speaking with the Pettit reps, what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 coat per day. That 1 coat per day means that in 4 days we'll have 4 coats. In 5 days we'll have 5 if we have enough material. But what we're going to do is we're going to wet sand out with a 400 grit first, and then we're going to go to a 600 or 800 grit from there, and then we may even come in and burnish this thing like we discussed. So that's our plan. We got to have enough coats of paint on there to do that. So that's it. We don't want to go through. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll pan over the boat back and forth so you can take a look at it, and then we'll move forward to hopefully tomorrow's video, when you guys will get a chance to see this thing black with the Black Widow. And that should be the first coat tomorrow, What we're talking about doing is, obviously, Black Widow is a thinner bottom paint. It's also a bottom paint that has more of an air dry to it. And what we're going to do is we'll probably come in and take the recommended millage of 3.1 mils wet and 2 mils dry. We'll be milling this thing about every 5 feet and just seeing what the application has. But you'll see tomorrow that we should have a black covering to this whole thing if it has good coverage. If it doesn't, then there may still be some spots shining through, and we'll go ahead and have a second coat of coverage on that. So that's pretty much it. Got a trailer in the way here we're getting ready to re-weld on, so just got to work around that. Alright, once again, Mike Gable, and we're going to shut down this video on the Black Widow bottom job. Okay.